We've been given two images today. We've been given pastoral image, the sheep and the shepherds, and we've given the arable image of the vine workers, the vineyard workers in the vineyard. And with the latter, with the work in the vineyards, the image there is God basically, if we look at it from the context of Jesus' own time, the Lord going out, the Son going out, of the Lord all the way through the history of his dealings with the people of Israel from the beginning to the coming of Jesus, how he's gone out and called people to him to become his sons and daughters. And Israel being the firstborn, the first to be called, and then the Gentiles, the pagans being called at the time of Jesus, and how the old Israel grumbles at the fact that these latecomers have come in and they're going to get the same prize. And the prize is the denarius, the daily wage, which I'll speak about afterwards. And then for us, how do we interpret this for ourselves? So the Lord goes out and he calls you and I. He calls us into his vineyard. He calls us into his kingdom to work in the vineyard. And that call can happen at any time in our lives, and we can respond at any time in our lives. It can be the beginning, right? The beginning of our lives when we respond and we begin following the Lord, or it can be any time in between. And with some of you, it has been different times in your lives where you've followed the Lord, heard that call, and entered into his vineyard. And the pay is a denarius. The salary is a denarius, that daily wage. What we're working for is the denarius, and that denarius is life eternal. And eternal life is this, says John, to know Jesus Christ. Eternal life is the beatific vision, Jesus Christ himself. So whether we have started at our earliest days of life, or whether we're coming to the Lord on our deathbed, the prize is the same. And we're working for the prize. We're aiming for that prize, life eternal, that one denarius, which is lovely. And now the key thing of this is, so that's all stuff, that's all very nice. And now it's the practical stuff I wanted to talk about, because the practical stuff is the important stuff. The prize is the same, the goal is the same. You and I, we've been called by the landowner into the vineyard. And we don't go into the vineyard to pick the grapes and eat them. We don't go into the vineyard, we don't come into the church to get our communion and just enjoy being here. That's not what you're being paid for. You and I, we're being paid to work in the vineyard. Work. You have something to do. The vineyard is not a holiday resort for the saved. It is a place of work. And so, you and I, as workers in the vineyard, actually, this is where we kind of mix all the images. We become the landowner. We do what the landowner does. We go out to find people to bring in to work in the vineyard. That's actually what we should be doing. And looking at the arable image, the pastoral image with the shepherds, the complaint that the Lord has against the shepherds is that they're not doing what? They are not. They're not feeding the flock. They're not going and searching them out. They're not curing them. He's not healing the lame. This is what the shepherds are not doing. And you and I, when we are called into the vineyard, we're not called into the vineyard to be sheep. You are called into the vineyard to be shepherds. The landowner goes out to bring people in. That's what the shepherd does. And you are called to be shepherds, to seek the lost, to heal the lame, to cure them, to feed them, to bring them in. That is your responsibility. In this parish, it's under me, but it's your responsibility. You are called to be shepherds, to work in the vineyard, not to be sheep and just enjoy being together. And we do this for the prize, for the delight of our eyes, life eternal, Jesus Christ.